Welcome back, guys, to another video on the channel. Hope you guys are well. Another West Ham related video today. For more West Ham videos, guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. We're trying to get a video out almost every day, or at least every other day for you guys. So the support would be greatly appreciated if you hit that subscribe button. But today, what are we going to talk about? I've woke up this morning and literally on my phone, Chelsea want Declan Rice in January for £60 million. They want him. Lampard is very adamant that he sees Declan Rice as the main sort of CDM that he wants to bring in to sort of propel that team to a possible Premier League title challenge. Who knows? Declan Rice is wanted by Chelsea for £60 million. And I don't really want to talk about too much about Chelsea, but I actually want to talk about a little bit about Declan Rice's game, how it's evolved in this current system, how it's evolved under David Moyes. Because I think if you compare Declan Rice from Pellegrini's era, okay, and how he's playing under David Moyes, I feel like there's two completely different players. I want to talk about the Declan Rice under Pellegrini. The Declan Rice under Pellegrini, he was someone that played in a 4-1 formation. He was the lone CDM, and then he'd have Lanzini and Mark Noble in front of him. And Declan Rice's job in that role was to literally just go from side to side, don't really venture too far forward, and just be a very disciplined CDM. And I feel like a lot of people have seen that Declan Rice and been like, you know what, Declan Rice is pretty limited in terms of his passing range, in terms of his ability on the ball. And I feel like a lot of his characteristics as a player goes unnoticed. And I feel like whilst I don't think he's had many great games or very good games, the kind of form that we've seen at West Ham for England, and I feel like a lot of fans have judged him off that, I do feel like Declan Rice is slowly showing that form for England. The last couple of games, especially against Belgium, he sees sort of the danger. He reads a pass from Toby Alderweireld. He does a 1-2 with Marcus Rashford. And the kind of runs that he does quite often for West Ham, where he runs with the ball and just propels the team up the pitch. Gets 15 or 20 yards. Very good ball carrier. And Marcus Rashford, he should have got his first assist for England. Declan Rice should have got his first assist for England. Very good 1-2, and it was a shot for Marcus Rashford over the bar. Now, let's talk about David Moyes' Declan Rice, because as I said, I feel like they're two completely different players, two completely roles that they're being asked to do. Now, since Pellegrini's left, Moyes has come in and he's been playing a 5-3-2, especially mainly this season. Last season, it was more like a 4-2-3-1 at times. Now it's more of a 5-2-3, shall I say, not a 5-3-2. And he's been asked to do a little bit of a different role. He is playing with Thomas Soucek alongside him. And I feel like because of Thomas Soucek coming into the club, it's allowed Declan Rice to show something that he hasn't been able to show maybe under Pellegrini. He's been asked, you know, he's got that belief, he's got that confidence that he can go and do what, you know, people haven't seen of him often or not, and that is actually getting forward, supporting attacks, carrying with the ball. And we have seen post-lockdown and sometimes this season, he's getting a lot more shots off. We know that in training, a lot of people have said, like Mark Noble, that Declan Rice has got a very good long shot, and that we should try and utilise it a little bit more. He is trying to slowly adapt his game and try and become not just that sole CDM, or whilst he's still got the anticipation, because the brain capacity, the mental awareness to play that role. He's now slowly adapting his game so he can be a little bit more than that. He can offer a little bit more to West Ham, just being, all right, I'm a CDM, I'm going to sit in front of the back four, the back five, and not move. I'm just going to be a lamppost and just offer a passing option, give the ball back, pass side to side, win a couple of tackles, be where I'm supposed to be. Can he affect the game going forward? And I feel like David Moyes has sort of brought out a little bit more of that side of Rice. I feel like his passing is so underrated. I feel like, as I said, from England, people see, you know, Declan Rice, oh, he only passes left or right. But if you actually look at the stats, he's one of the midfielders that actually passes the ball forward a lot more than others. When he gets the ball, he does look for a pass forward. If he cannot pass the ball forward, then he'll go out wide. It's not like he receives the ball. Right, I'm not even going to bother looking forward, you know. I'm not going to try and give it to our maybe a centre attacking midfielder or a striker. I'm just going to pass it to our right back or our left back and just keep the ball, just safe possession. No sort of ambition about the pass. As I said, I feel like David Moyes is slowly bringing out a side of, Declan Rice that us West Ham fans knew he kind of had the ability, but he wasn't really able to show it because of the system that he was playing. And a lot of it does go down to Thomas Soucek. As Declan Rice mentioned in the post-match conference against Manchester City when we drew 1-1, he actually said that when he plays with Thomas Soucek, it was kind of a slight dig, not really a dig at Mark Noble, but, you could probably take it as one. I don't feel like he meant it like that, but he said that, when he plays with Thomas Soucek, he knows he's got someone in midfield that can do the running with him. And I feel like when he played, CDM or centre mid with Mark Noble, he probably did feel like that he was probably doing two man's job. Because whilst I think Mark Noble is still very good technically to play in the Premier League, he's still got the ability to pass the ball around. His legs are just not there. And obviously that does affect Declan Rice in terms of his ability to go forward, his ability to maybe push on a little bit more, his ability to run with the ball, be a ball carrier for the team, be a physical presence, because that's what he is. He's a big lad as well, Declan Rice. He's not a frail guy. He's a big lad. He's very strong on the ball, loves a sliding challenge, loves a tackle. And when he plays with Noble, he probably realises that Noble probably doesn't have the legs to maybe cover, spaces. If Declan Rice pushes on, Mark Noble, he probably knows that he doesn't have the legs to cover those spaces that Declan Rice will naturally leave if he decides to push forward. And I think, with Thomas Soucek, it's a perfect blend. It's a perfect, combination, because he knows Soucek can do, he can go forward. He knows Soucek can obviously drop back. He can defend. He can do what he can do. Whilst he probably doesn't have as much pace, and he's probably a little bit more, Soucek's game in regards to on the ball is a little bit more limited than it is than Declan Rice. I feel like Declan Rice is a lot more comfortable to show that he can do that bit more for West Ham going forward. So it's going to be very interesting to see how his game develops in the next couple of years, because this guy's only 21 years of age, by the way. Right? West Ham are looking to offer him a new contract. Apparently, we're looking to double his wages. Apparently, he's on 60 grand a week at the moment. We're looking to double his wages to 120k a week. And in my opinion, if anyone at the football club deserves to be the highest paid player at the football club, after all the players that have had huge wages, Lanzini, whilst he did score a fantastic goal against Tottenham, 100k a week since his injury, not justified. Haller, Felipe Anderson, Yarmolenko. There's a lot of players at the club who are on huge wages, whilst there may be at other clubs on loan. West Ham are still paying some kind of wage to those players. Whilst there is a load of players that are on 100k, 120k, Wilshere that we just got rid of, who was on £100,000. If there's anyone that West Ham need to give a new contract to ASAP, whilst yes, a new contract doesn't really mean what it's written, if that makes sense, in the sense of Declan Rice could sign a new 5-year contract tomorrow, but if Chelsea come in with 90 million in January, for example, West Ham are probably going to sell him. That's the way it is. All contracts are or do really. It sort of secures the short-term option for the player, but then it does mean that if Chelsea want to buy Declan Rice, they realise, well, he's got a 5-year contract, he's on 120k a week, that they have to stump up a lot of money for them to be able to bring Declan Rice into their football club. So yes, it does look like Chelsea want to continue to pursue the option of Declan Rice to make him their main CDM for £60 million. For me, I feel like there will be a time when Declan Rice leaves this our football club, unfortunately, just because I feel like he will not sort of outgrown it, because there's never a term where you think there's a man bigger than the football club. But however, he's probably already has, to be fair, probably outgrown the club in terms of ability-wise. He will probably move on. He will probably move on to Chelsea in the next year or two, or at least to a big club. And I feel like the performance is shown under David Moyes, where I feel like David Moyes has shown that that Declan Rice has got another side to him. That we could see other major clubs, such as Manchester United, who have had a long-term reported interest in him, because they may see him as a potential replacement to Matic. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Declan Rice and his contract situation. I hope West Ham give him the money that he wants, even if it was 150 grand a week. If West Ham are going to ever pay anyone 150k a week, we pay Chicharito like 130k a week, then it's going to be Declan Rice, in my opinion. Because right now, he is, in my opinion, he's the best English CDM that England have got. Whilst there's arguments to be had for Henderson is not a CDM. He's a box-to-box midfielder. Whilst people compare Declan Rice and Kante, well, why would they want Declan Rice if they've got Kante? Kante's never been a CDM. He's always been a box-to-box midfielder. He was at Leicester. He was under Conte at Chelsea. And he was under Sarri. He's always been a box-to-box midfielder. He's never really been that sole CDM, because at Leicester, what used to happen, they used to play a 4-4-2. Kante and Danny Drinkwater would be in centre mid. Kante would run around like a headless chicken, do two jobs, and Danny Drinkwater would be the one that was a slightly little bit deeper. However, he'd have that long passing range to Jamie Vardy over the top. And the same thing with Kante at Chelsea. He's always been a box-to-box midfielder. He's got the ability to go, not so much the ability, but he's got the speed and the agileness to go forward. So I do think Chelsea feel like they need that sole CDM that's going to sit there, who's got the ability to pass the ball forward, got the ability to maybe pursue forward or be a ball carrier. And I do think Chelsea will try and come in, well, according to the Daily Mail, they're going to come back in for Declan Rice, 60 million. So hopefully West Ham, guys, will get a new contract done and dusted, or at least try and secure the short-term future. Whether it is, the next 2 seasons. If West Ham can secure the next 2 seasons for Declan Rice, in my opinion, his value is only going to skyrocket. With the money that is just getting pumped into the football now, pumped into the game, Sky, all that stuff, Declan Rice's value, especially being English and 21 years of age, if he develops his game, which I think he is under Moyes, he's developing his game under Moyes, his value will skyrocket. So, guys, that is going to be today's West Ham video. Chelsea want Declan Rice for 60 million. Let me know, not so much about, Chelsea wanted Declan Rice 60 million. Let me know how you think Declan Rice's game has transformed over the past season or so. I feel like, if you compare the Declan Rice that was under Pellegrini and the Declan Rice that is now under David Moyes, I feel like whilst, yes, he has matured, I feel like they're 2 completely different players. Pellegrini's Declan Rice would be someone who's very disciplined, right? Whilst he is still disciplined, but he wouldn't really, go out of his, his box, right? He'd be in front of the defence, wouldn't venture forward. Now, with the role and the formation and the system and the players around him in Thomas Soucek, that he does have a little bit more license to go forward and support attacks, try and have some shots on the edge of the box. So, guys, that is going to be the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for more West Ham content. We're trying to, get 1 or 2 videos out at least every day or every other day. That's what we're trying to go for. I'm going to have a video out tomorrow for West Ham, and the video is going to be about where West Ham can actually finish. Now we've played those 7 fixtures, where can West Ham realistically finish, looking at our next 1 to 2 months of fixtures. That is going to be tomorrow's video. Guys, if you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the like button for more West Ham content. I'll catch you later. See you later, boys.